distraction, it becomes a problem.
Tracy Ham and the Eskimo offense starting deep in their territory, and they're working into the wind in this first quarter. Not a real strong wind, but it will affect the kicking somewhat. Ham will take off and run, and he gains 8 yards as he heads up the field to about the 20-yard line. Well, yesterday was a gorgeous day in Edmonton. It was +2 degrees Celsius. No sign of snow. The tarp on the field. They took it off yesterday afternoon. As of 9:30 this morning, you could see that the snow had already been cleared. It started snowing late last night, and this is what it looks like right now. And they swept the field with those sweepers, at least part of it, just before the start of the game. They didn't get it all, as you can see. 2nd and 2 Eskimos. The ball's at their 20-yard line. And Blake Marshall carries off the left side, and he gets a first down for Edmonton.
When you talk about preparation for a game like this, I think you have to be very sure on what kind of footwear. The one on the right, the spot belt shoe, the cleats are a lot softer. They will stay pliable as it gets colder. The shoe on the left, the Nike, is hard-soled, hard cleats. It slides. Most of the players are wearing the shoe on the right.
Tracy Ham with a toss to Walling on first down. And he'll gain a couple of yards, and that'll be it. Dave Albright and Dan Rasevich moved up to make the stop for Saskatchewan.
You know, when you're talking about these kinds of field conditions, I think it's really important to consider the running game today is going to primarily be between the tackles. I can't see how a running back's going to start to the outside and be able to turn that corner when it's so slippery. So watch for a lot of inside stuff.
Oh, you're right, Nick. And the offensive line is going to get that first shot, but it'll be tough for them to sustain a drive, too.
2nd and 8. Tracy Ham throws and completes down the left side. That's Larry Willis. And they rule that he stepped out of bounds, but it's a big gain for the Edmonton Eskimos.
Larry Willis has been hampered by a pulled abdominal muscle, which is maybe one of the reasons he hasn't been as explosive. But when you take the chance of knocking the ball down on an out, the only help you have is downfield, and you'll see it come into play with Glenn Suter. But it's a tough play for him. You either go for the ball and pick it off, or make sure you got a hand on the receiver.
Tough call for the officials, too, as to where he went out of bounds. Tracy Ham on first down throws incomplete. And the football is at the Saskatchewan 54-yard line.
Well, I think that's going to be most difficult for the defensive linemen on their pass rush is that they just really can't get any traction. Offensive linemen love this kind of a day because you set the defensive lineman real short. Don't let him build any momentum.
Yeah. Eskimos 2nd and 10. The football at the 54 of Saskatchewan. They will change the footballs throughout the game to try and get a softer ball in there because they freeze real fast.
as does everything else. But I think we saw Brett Williams change. The players can't be concerned about their footwear. When you're in a three-point stance, the last thing you want to worry about is if you come off hard, will you slip or not.
And throwing on 2nd down in a diving effort